You talked about it with "I Lived It." I mean, that song is such
that song's
specific...
so personal that we were just like, we already know nobody's gonna cut this, so let's just Uncle Joe put tobacco on my hand where them yellow jackets tore me up. I mean, that's a line that like, who's gonna even know what that means?
Right.
But we all know what it means.
But that happened to me. I was fishing and I got stung by yellow jackets, and put some tobacco on there. So we just went even deeper because we said nobody's gonna record this, and then thank goodness Blake Shelton, I guess, grew up and lived the same life that we did. But I think you can try to please too many people. And it vanilla's the song way up.
Generic,
I agree.
That is such. I mean, first of all, that song. That song makes me mad at y'all.
Makes me mad.
Well, Shane won the Grammy. He's not that mad. He beat us at the Grammy that year. So. He got on stage and goes, "Y'all, I'm so mad that I did not lose this Grammy because I wanted to write their song."
He tried to give
best
it to
speech
us.
ever. It was
that should have been the acceptance speech. Clearly.
No, but that song is a classic, and it makes me think of, not that we're talking about this song, but it's also talking about the specificity, which is the hardest word for me to say, and I just nailed it.
One try.
It makes me think of Good Old Boys Like Me, where, Uncle Remus, and I mean,
naming
and it, that would sound almost comical, but it's so real in the song. And that's that yellow jacket thing didn't happen to me, but something else like it did.
Right, you can fill that in.
Yeah,
in your own head.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, that's exactly right. I think that's so special. Something I think about a lot too as an artist, and this song being the first outside song that I've cut, I've always had the perspective that, best song wins. And I think it's important for me to remember I'm writing every day, but so are hundreds of other writers in Nashville. And I can't help but think that there could be magic in these other rooms. That's not the room that I'm in that day, or that another songwriter out there could be telling a story that they didn't even realize was mine. And I mean, I'm curious from y'all's perspective, the way songs get cut and pitched has really changed over the years. You're seeing less and less cuts and more artists being in the room, which is sometimes a good thing, but I think there is something so special about writers getting in a room together and writing something that's true to them and it finding the way to an artist.
Right.
How can you guys talk a little bit about like how that's changed since you guys started writing for artists versus with an artist, and how that kind of is different?
I mean, Ashley, you've seen the whole evolution, and you are the king of cuts. So no, but I mean seriously. So what is it? We are trending towards
it does
artist
trend.
rights.
Well, like you said, you're open to like maybe there is some magic going on somewhere else, so you're open to listen to this song. And not everybody is, not everybody looks outside that room, that they're in.
Yeah.
So that happens a little bit, but I still think a lot of people, are willing to kind of do what you did and be like, hey, I'll check out some songs. I'll do some outside songs. There's amazing writers, whether it's Kenny Chesney, Luke Bryan, Carrie Underwood, whoever, that are still, before they're finished recording, take a lap around and make sure they're not missing something and are willing to do that. So I still think there's some people that aren't. The camps get tighter and tighter and it gets hard. But it's really smart, because you're trying to sing these songs. If one matches up with you, then you're trying to sing it on stage.
I think every artist out there. I mean, look at Morgan Wallen's album.
Yeah.
I mean, what'd he write? Maybe half of it.
Yeah, it's like
He didn't write "Sand on My Boots." Mm-hmm. He didn't write "Whiskey Glasses."
Yeah.
Right.
He did write "7 Summers" with you, right? Mm-hmm. But he the best songs he wrote, he kept, and then he cut what he thought were the best songs.
And that song he just put out is that "Don't Think Jesus" song.
The
last two,
that's
outside song,
and it sounds so true to me.
Like he had to write it. That's a great example of a song where somebody else told that story. He wasn't even thinking he needed to tell it.
Yes.
It was the perfect matchup.
Yeah. So I think that I hope you write all of your songs, but if you find something outside that moves you, I would definitely cut it. I mean, look at the careers of Garth Brooks, Alabama. George Strait didn't write anything. Hardly. Tim McGraw, Chesney, Reba.
I mean, the people that built their careers on songs, they were looking at outside songs, knowing that. That's one of the things that I always say. These artists, I use Thomas Rhett as an example because he looks outside.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. He would be a hit songwriter with or without his career, but. What he gets is that they have a million other things to do. You guys have interviews, you have TV appearances, you're on tour. Yeah. We're doing this every day. And so to not assume that somebody, while you're doing all these other things, might not write a song that you should listen to, would be short-sighted. I mean, and I think the artists that you mentioned specifically, they're all great writers, Luke and Carrie and Kenny. But they always check to see, you know, if there's something out there, and there usually is.
Yeah.